So, Joe, so you have a lot of contracts that come across your desk.
hmm
In this crazy seller's market, how do buyers win?
Winning in this market is scary, right? So the
It's
first thing we
scary.
do is we take our buyers through a expectation and milestone speech.
This is key.
Yeah, because you have to set their psychological anxiety points to be ready to win. If they truly want to be homeowners, then they have to know that they're going to have to make sometimes the biggest decision in their life within an hour.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
that's tough.
yeah.
Especially new first-time home buyers, we have a playbook where we set their expectations to a point where they're going to understand what they're getting into and that the market is extremely fast and you
Very
have to be
fast.
aggressive. So we do that. So we set their expectations first.
Okay.
And then, of course, we get them pre-approved very strongly, make sure that we have all their documentations. We leave no stone unturned to make sure that they're actually going to be able to close when they pull a trigger with a qualified real estate agent,
Yes,
such as
of
yourself,
course, yes.
an expert. And then we, as a mortgage company, and we don't do anything else, I would advise buyers to strategize and set your team up because ultimately we work for the buyer.
Absolutely.
So, you might have some relationships or everyone in your life becomes an expert, but it's ultimately up to who you feel comfortable with
Yes.
and who has the knowledge in this market to be able to do the financing, find you the house.
Right.
The negotiations are extremely tough these days. So, with you, I mean, you're an expert negotiator, so
Yeah.
it's,
Yes. So being prepared is you have to be prepared.
yeah, escalation clauses. We like to do short commitment period times that makes your offer stand out. And so
The standard's like a month, but maybe shortening it to
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
Because you've already pre,
Mhm.
approved them.
Right.
So that the only thing that we need is the house, so they're ready to go. So it won't take that long to get a commitment.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, we can do pre-approvals very fast. I think I did 4 this morning. It's Sunday at noon, before noon.
Yeah, we're working hard over here.
But ultimately, we want to make sure that they know that you have to be aggressive to win. And so we have a winning speech with all of our buyers say, how bad do you want the house? What are your anxiety points?
Right.
What are you most scared about in this market?
Right.
And then we create a solution for all those points and then kind of re-educate them and frame them up so that they feel confident in the financing. They know what their window is for a comfort zone for their monthly payment. And we can deploy uh, enhanced pre-approvals such as a cash plus guarantee, getting very popular in central New York. It's already extremely popular in Monroe County and Rochester, and it's kind of coming this way. What that is a buyer can go in with a mortgage pre-approval that's as good as cash.
Yeah, we can use those. That'll help a lot in this market.
Yeah, and we call the listing agent to make them feel all warm and fuzzy inside so that they know that we've done a good job, we've done our due diligence, this borrower is solid,
Yeah.
and we're going to close the loan.
And you've done the work on it. That's just the thing. I'm getting a lot of buyers that just don't want to call the bank yet. And that's just like the worst thing you can possibly do in this market. You need to call the bank and know where you stand. And we're not winning. We're not winning if you don't do that.
Well, and it's still a people business.
Yes.
People today want to educate themselves.
They do.
Because
they're
like
Googling everything and
AI,
it's not always right. So.
Yeah, they're like, how do I chat GPT XYZ? And it's like, now I'm an expert.
That's right.
But it's still a people business. And I would encourage buyers to definitely work with people because it takes cooperation amongst the attorneys, the bank, the real estate agents.
Right.
And that only comes from actual human relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to diagnose your mortgage situation yourself,
it's happening a lot.
don't do that to yourself.
You need your team, and everybody's gonna educate you and tell you the best ways to get the offer accepted.
Sure. Right.
Starting with me getting you in the house as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. ChatGPT can't do that, and the bank's going to have you all set up and educate you and tell you the best ways to get this offer accepted on their end, and then I'll do the other part.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot to it.
A good team, like of course you and a lot of the realtors, we work together to negotiate the deal because the financing plays a huge role.
Huge.
Having a pre-approval for whatever you're pre-approved for versus being ready for a mortgage are two totally different things.
I think a lot of buyers don't understand that.
Right.
And we're gonna.
Because there's down payment differences between loan programs. There may be grants or things that you're entitled to. It may be better to put less down or more down, depending on the situation.
Right.
There might be lower interest rate options in the beginning of your loan to help the entry payment that you get into for your first time house just be
Right.
less stressful to your budget. And we have all of those, and you really want to work with a mortgage team that gives you side by side options and gives you some choices
So you
because
see what
it's
works best for yourself, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And to answer your question on people don't want to apply for the mortgage, right?
Yeah, it's happening to me on a few people right now, and I'm like, and that's step number one in the process, so that you feel confident going forward, so that you know how much money you need, what loan's best for you, and
Of course.
I'm getting a little pushback from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not fun.
No.
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "I can't wait to apply for a mortgage." So, and we know
I
that.
did it recently, and it kind of was quite annoying.
It is. It can be.
But you have to do it.
It can be.
Yeah.
A lot of trust is at an all-time low amongst consumers in
I've
the
noticed
United
that as
States
well.
right now, not
Yes.
just our area, everywhere. And people have trust issues
They
with
have
their
big
banks.
time.
Yeah. They
Yep.
feel like something's going to happen or go wrong, and they're very risk averse. And so they have to feel extremely comfortable moving forward with such a big thing. So we really, again, do that state of the market, expectation speech. It's
Yeah.
going to feel like you're getting shoved into a situation,
Hmm.
but we want to make it feel like you ran into it yourself
Right.
and you're
You're-
confident
you're
and
ready.
winning and ready to go.
Mhm.
A
I
lot of
love that.
people, they're sitting on the sidelines and they think they're experts. They're like, well, we're waiting for rates to drop. I'm like, well,
Ooh, what do you think about that?
I I think waiting is a fool's errand, and I'll
Yep.
tell you why. If you wait for rates to drop, you're just increasing competition,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have a first-time home buyer who is looking at a 6.25 interest rate today, which is around where the national average is, and he wants to get a $250,000 house, and he's trying to play the market
Yeah.
and wait for
I
rates
see
to
a
go
lot
to
of that right now.
5.75 or whatever it is. Well, here's one thing you can't change: the price of what you paid for the house. You can change the interest rate later on by
You can
enjoying lower
That's
rates.
right, refinancing.
Exactly.
But you're missing out on some houses for your house that you would have loved by not just
Yep.
going for it.
I've seen borrowers do this when they were waiting for rates to go from 7 to 6,
Yes.
and now it's been months and they can't go under contract
Yeah. They're
because
still waiting.
the house that they want, well, guess what? Everybody else wants it. and now you're
Yep.
competing,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of competition. So
much competition, and just making sure that you're pre-qualified. You talk to an agent that can tell you how to negotiate the contract and how we're going to handle it is just so important. Oh my
very
gosh.
important. And I say this to my own detriment, even if it's not me, work with a local loan officer
Yeah.
that knows what they're doing. We have some great loan officers in our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would encourage you to work with somebody that just does mortgages. A company that is has more options like we do. We have 3% down programs, all kinds of down payment assistance. I can't think of one loan we don't participate and do
Right.
with our company. And there's some of my peers out there that we work very nice in the sandbox together. And if you're a buyer, work with a local loan officer, especially in central New York, because it's an attorney state.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players involved. The bulk of the sales cycle time between going under contract and closing is with the mortgage company.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Once we go under contract, it's like it gets a little quiet on my end because we're
Right.
waiting for the other parts of the team, the bank,
Yep.
to do what needs to be done.
And we got to cooperate with the attorneys very well. And
Yes.
it's a relationship business. So if you have somebody that's local, then they probably know who the attorney is.
Yes. Yes.
So they can make a call, and those relationships are important to be able to move a file along, get first downs, and eventually a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. There's one thing that I did want to bring up about. Oh, by the way, my name's Janine, and I sell homes in Syracuse, and this is Joe, the mortgage guy with Cross Country Mortgage. I love that I can anytime send a text to Cross Country Mortgage if I want to do a cash to close for my buyers, because taxes will determine a payment, and they get real nervous, but they're always confident going in because we find the house. I'm like, hey, can you give me that cash to close on this? So we can just look at the numbers and then
Yeah.
they can feel confident going in. I love that about Cross Country Mortgage. It
Yeah.
could be like today on a Sunday, just, we've got to put an offer in. It just feels good. That's
Yep.
why you have to have your team. Because
Sure.
if you're trying to do this without a team, like who do you turn to? You got to be able to turn to the bank, the agent, and it does include like attorneys as well. So, and we handle all that. So,
Yeah, we have a pretty good tech stack too, meaning we have some good
it's awesome.
programs that
Mhm.
we can send out loan scenarios so that the buyers know the
Exactly.
numbers.
That helps a lot.
Very
It makes them
quickly.
feel good so that they understand what are these numbers.
Right.
So there's just a lot of pieces to the puzzle of closing on a home, and
Yeah.
it's
And
really-
depending on the home too. So the way we pre-approve buyers, which I like with our team, is we want to stay on that shopping journey with them. Obviously.
Exactly.
I think
Yes.
what a lot of companies do is they just fire off a pre-approval and we'll talk to you again when you're under contract.
Yes. And you communicate with them and say,
Right.
And yeah.
So we make sure that they're texting us.
How is the house hunting going and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
We follow up with them, but also we want to know, hey, we're looking to put an offer on this house. I want them to send us the address so that we can get very surgical and pull the tax bills right there and
Exactly.
get
I love that
accurate
about-
numbers.
Yeah.
And that's going to make them very confident when they're negotiating with you because they may have to pay more than what the asking price is
That's
for the
right.
house. And that's a conversation we have with them. If you love this house
Mhm.
and you want to lose it over $10,000,
Yeah.
you're losing it over about $65 a month.
Yeah, that's a big one.
You
People
know.
are like, I don't want to pay 10,000 higher. It's like, it's not that much.
No,
You
'cause
know.
it's a 30-year loan
Right.
and houses are appreciating because the inventory
yes.
is still low. That
Mhm.
paying more is not necessarily, that's not what it's worth.
Right.
A
right.
house is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, just like a baseball card.
Exactly.
If somebody comes in and
It's like, if you love it, you're staying in this house for 10 years.
Right.
To pay like 10,000 higher,
it's typically worth it. I mean, I've seen them go
They-
80, 100,000 over.
Yeah. And if that's the house,
Which is
too,
the extreme end
It is extreme.
of the
But that's-
example. I don't scare anybody.
But this is
But-
this is the market that we're in, that we want to
Sure.
make sure that you are communicating with the team,
Yeah.
an agent and a mortgage guy, so
Yeah.
that you feel confident.
And
Yeah.
we're helping I'm seeing more FHA go under contract, VA go under contract, low down payment people go under contract. So if you have the right team,
You can
and
get these closed,
you
and you
can-
can get an offer accepted. You just have
Yeah.
to know the steps and know what you're in for. Basically,
Exactly.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, awesome, Joe.
All right.
Thank you, and
Of
we'll be
course.
back with more videos on different topics.